Hare Krishna, welcome to Bhakti Sangha Japa conference call. Today's speaker is Her Grace Sukhesvari Devi Dasi Mataji. Mataji will speak on the topic of Sri Caitanya Charitamrta, Madhya Lila, chapter 24, verse number 35 onwards. Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Guru Maharaj. Thank you so much Mataji for giving your valuable time and association to us this morning and enlightening us on this topic. I now hand over the call to you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Mataji. We'll get started with Mangalacharan prayers. Om Jnanantimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Caitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yudapadakamanam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Sapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Om Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimad Radhanath Swaminiti Namine. Om Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasari Gaura Bhaksavrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Today we will be covering 2 shlokas. I just want to mention that this is an extremely difficult part for me. I'm just doing this as a service to Her Grace Sundari Mataji and my Guru Maharaj. I just want to mention that the verse that we are talking about is extremely, it has been explained with 64 different explanations. But when it comes to really having a realization of what these are, these verses, this particular verse is, I really have, I have real big hope that I'll be able to understand a little bit of terminology association. I'm going to try my best to explain it from what's given in the translations and also from couple lectures. And I hope you all could add into it and correct me at the end of the class. So we're going to cover 2 shlokas, that is Chaitanya Charitamrta Madhya Lila, 24th chapter, 35th and the 36th verse. In the 35th verse, we'll just do the shloka and the translation. Itham bhuta guna shabdera sunakya hyana itham shabdera vinna artha guna shabdera ana. Please hear the meaning of the word itham bhuta guna, which is found in the Atma Rama verse. Itham bhuta has different meanings and guna has other meanings. Go to the next verse, 24:36. Itham bhuta shabdera artha purnananda maya yandraya agi brahmanda prayahaya. The word itham bhuta is transcendentally exalted because it means full of transcendental bliss. Before this transcendental bliss, the bliss derived from merging into the existence of absolute, that's brahmanda, becomes like a piece of straw in comparison. So this is what I thought that I would try to talk more in detail about. That is, they're talking about how merging into the Brahmanda compared to, that is the impersonal liberation, is like a piece of straw in comparison to having a blissful relationship with Krishna personally. So the exact verse, I just want to quote the verse. I'm sure that you have been hearing this verse every single day when, other wonderful speakers have been talking about this verse. So the verse is actually, Atmaramascha munayo nigranta api urukkame kurvanti ahaitukim bhaktim itham bhuta guna hari. The general meaning of this verse is this: those who are liberated souls and are fully satisfied within themselves will eventually become devotees of the Lord. This especially describes the impersonal. So this particular shloka can actually, we have looked at different meanings of it, but it especially describes the impersonal who have no information of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They try to remain satisfied with impersonal Brahman. But Krishna is so attractive and so strong that he attracts their minds as well. This is the main purpose of the verse. Now, Lord Caitanya gives a beautiful example in the earlier verses you referred, or even in the later verses again you will hear about the dealings of Kumaras. When the Kumaras entered the temple of Lord, they were attracted by the aroma of the flowers and the tulsi leaves offered to the lotus feet of the Lord with the pulp of sandalwood. Simply by Kumaras smelling the aroma of these offerings, their minds turned to the service of the Supreme Lord. Although the Kumaras were already liberated souls. Now it is also explained in Srimad Bhagavatam in elsewhere, that is the 1st Canto 7th chapter 10th verse, that even if one is a liberated soul and is actually free from material contamination, actually free, he can still become attracted to rendering the Supreme Lord devotional service. That is costless and unhampered by material propensity. So you can imagine how amazing is the direct devotional service to Krishna. This is because God is so attractive, and because he's so attractive, he's called Krishna. Now, in teachings of Lord Chaitanya, there's a beautiful explanation. It says, please take it from me that devotional service of the Supreme Lord is the highest perfectional stage of human understanding. Indeed, it is so attractive that even those who are already liberated become devotees by the inconceivable potency of Supreme Personality of Godhead. Now, there's so many such, conversions in the Vedic literature. The Atmarama verse, that impersonal sages who are absorbed in self-realization are liberated from all material attachment. We're not talking about somebody who is a self-gratifier, who is so much down to, attachment to all the material self-gratification things. We're only talking about those sages who are impersonal, who are completely self-realized, who are absorbed in self-realization. They become attracted to devotional service. The various activities of Lord Krishna. Such transcendental qualities are of that of Supreme Personality of Godhead. So it is amazing to even start understanding what is the personal connection with Krishna. Now coming over to how do we connect? We are talking about these, amazing people. Like I'll give you two examples. One is Brahma Vimohan Lila. We all know that, I don't want to go lots into detail of the story. I'm sure you all have heard the story before. There's a beautiful shloka which Lord Brahma is mentioning in Srimad Bhagavatam. Now it took place in this beautiful surrounding, Brahma Vimohan Lila. Lord Brahmaji was greatly bewildered by the divine Sri Krishna. The story is like Lord Brahma is forgetting the only potent supreme glory of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Tested him. He just tested Brahma. Can you imagine? Brahma is actually the topmost devotee in this particular universe, and he is stealing the cows and the cowherd boys of Raja. He took them to his secret place, and 1 year later, he came to the same place to see all the cows were there, all the cowherd boys were present. They were all playing with, he was like so totally bewildered. In fact, it was Lord Sri Krishna himself who personally expanded to take the place of his friend, and then he was very much disturbed in mind. How can this possibly be? Brahma is saying this. He's saying, I am the supreme creator of this universe. How is that? I do not understand. I went back to the cave. He actually goes back to the cave to check, did the boys go away? In which he actually put the kids in. And he saw that they were still sleeping. And then he came back to the pasture ground, and he still saw the same boys playing with Lord Krishna. He went back and forth. He was totally confused. When one is confused and bewildered, it's one of the most miserable conditions of life. Now, we all know that mental pain is more painful than actually a physical pain. The proof is, who is in utter distressful condition often commits suicide. How many times in history have we heard that people committing suicide because of physical pain? Hardly. Somehow or other, people can always tolerate, no matter how that physical pain is. We find practically every suicide is due to mental pain. When someone's mind is in such confusion, bewilderment, and distress, they cannot either live. They're just so bewildered. Now, Brahmaji was in the greatest mental distress because he was so confused. He was bewildered. He lost his entire composure. Now, similar situation is in Bhagavad Gita. We're talking about great people. We are trying to reach to understand how many people can actually get into illusion. Brahma is an illusion in Brahma Vimohan Lila. And Arjuna is talking in Bhagavad Gita. He says, Karpanya dosho pahatas svabhava pachamitam dharma samoha cheta. He says, I have lost my composure due to weakness. I do not know what is to be done and what is not to be done. In this condition of life, I surrender to you. Yes, you are my guru. He tells Krishna. I'm your disciple. Now please instruct me. I do not know. So Lord Brahma, when he was in this condition, at that time, to take matters even more confusing, Lord Krishna, by his divine potency, each and every cowherd boy, you can imagine in Brahma Vimohan Lila, he has expanded. He is the Lord of the Vaikuntha. He becomes the cow. He becomes the cat. And around each one of those Narayanas are great sages and other great demigods. After prayers and worship, and Lord Brahma saw this. He was utterly confused. Of course, Krishna does reveal the confusion. He appears in front of him with a beautiful flute in his hand and looking at his friend, just like an innocent child. At that time, Lord Brahma, he realized Krishna as the Supreme Personality Godhead and that he was put into confusion. Now, how is it that we, living entities, can get out of this confusion? Can you just imagine? But Brahma shows us the way. Brahma can get confused. Arjuna, who is the intimate friend of Krishna, can get confused. Of course, we could also be confused. We can be confused from understanding the beautiful form of Krishna. But how do we get rid of this confusion? Prayers of Lord Brahma is one of the things that we can really look upon. It says, Tattena kampam susunikshamano bunjana evatma kritam vipakam yatas purvi idhavan namaste jiveta yo mukti pradita dayabhak. This is from 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, 14th chapter, 8th verse. He has explaining who is qualified for liberation. We are talking in this particular, in Atma Ramascha words, we were talking that people who are liberated also get attracted towards Krishna. I mean, impersonally liberated. Here, we're talking about who is qualified to really understand Krishna. Who is qualified to actually go back home, back to Godhead. With this verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, Tattena Kampam, which Lord Brahma is saying, he's explaining who is qualified actually. There is only one person that is qualified, and that person who is in most distressful and suffering condition of life. When they come upon him, there could be so many problems in his life. But you know what the person thinks? He thinks that person with a gracious heart folds his palm and offers his obeisance to the Supreme Personality of Godhead and says, thank you very much, dear Lord. This is just what I need. It is by your mercy that I am in this condition of life. It is all due to my previous activities, and any suffering has come upon me, and by your divine arrangement, you're just giving me a small sample of what I really deserve. Because of that condition, I can thank you from the bottom of my heart, and I want to surrender at your feet. If a person is able to do this, if a person is not willing and ready to offer the obeisance with heart, full of gratitude to Krishna, in the most distressful and suffering condition of life, if he is not able to do this, then he is not fit for liberation. And until we come to that platform, we will never attain to a Krishna consciousness. So how the world can be thankful in condition of distress? Just imagine, how can we be thankful? It's such a difficult situation. First of all, as long as you are in this material condition of distress, will come upon you. Because We cannot avoid that. Krishna says, he says, A Brahma Bhuvana Loka Punaravartanojana. Mamupetya Sukanteya Punarjanmana Vidyate. As he says in the Bhagavad Gita 8 chapter 16th verse. From the highest planet of this material world down to the lowest, there are all places of misery. Because the repeated birth and death takes place every day. Everywhere. It happens to everyone, everywhere, every day. He also said in the 8:15, Mamupetya Punarjanma Dukhalema Shashvatam. Because everybody, a wise soul, they know that this material world is a miserable place by nature. Because everything is temporary. The eternal soul can never find real peace in the temporary existence of this world. So therefore, first we must understand it is the nature of this place that we are living, that in this place there is a duality. When there is happiness, distress, pleasure, pain, honor, dishonor. But we must understand that the source of this material existence is the first verse of Srimad Bhagavatam, Janmadi Asya Yato. The source of everything is Krishna, the absolute truth. Janmadi Asya Yato in Srimad Bhagavatam, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. And I offer obeisances to Vasudeva, the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna, because he is the cause of all causes. He is from whom everything emanates. And Krishna confirms actually this in Bhagavad Gita. He says, Sarvasya Prabhavo Matta Sarvam Pravastate. Iti Matva Vajantema Buddha Bhavasamandita. I am the source of the material spiritual world. Everything that you see around me emanates from me. The wise who know this perfectly engage in my loving service and worship me with all their heart. So everything is coming from Krishna. So how amazing it is. He is the cause of all causes. He says he is the cause of all causes. He says he is not only the cause of things you like, he is also cause of everything. And this is explained in Ishopanishad. I mean, there are so many scriptural little books that we can read. And of course, Ishopanishad is a wonderful book. He says, Om Purna Madah Purna Vidam Purna Purna Mudachare Purnasya Purna Madhya Purnameva Vishishate. He says that supreme absolute truth is the cause of all causes, from whom everything emanates, is perfect and complete. So, therefore, whatever comes upon us, we should know it's God's grace. It is coming by His divine arrangement upon us. This verse by Lord Brahma is explaining that whatever suffering condition comes into our life, whatever reverses, we know it is due to our own past karma. And Krishna, by His mercy, is giving it to us for our purification. So therefore, what crazy person will blame the circumstance or environment around him for what is his fault? He's not going to, tell that it is someone else's fault. It is just my fault. If I'm going through something, it's just my fault. Now let's talk a little bit about the nature of the conditioned soul, who is insincere about trying to make spiritual advancement. He's very quick. He will blame other people. He'll be very quick. It's just because of the false pride, ahankara, ego. He's very quick to justify his predicament of life by blaming upon either other persons or material circumstances. If a carpenter makes a mistake, just for an example, he will make a mistake, he blames his tools. Now that's funny. He is the one who is using the tool. But if a carpenter says that my tools are the fault and thinks that making the problem, it's crazy. If you have a carpenter and he destroys your house, that he says, do not blame me, it's the fault of my tools, well, how would we accept that? He is crazy. Now, so there are many such wonderful examples that we can talk about. The most important thing is that we have to understand that it is just our karma, and Krishna is very, very, very merciful upon us that He is not letting us get through all the sufferings. We were actually supposed to go through a lot more. Now, following Lord Chaitanya, let's think about a devotee cannot attain that state amongst each other. How is it possible for them to spread the glories of the Lord to the rest of the world? We are all trying to understand a little bit. We understand this. Isn't it very difficult for us to reach the level of Tatena Kampam? We have to start slowly. Now, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he was playing the role of a devotee. Although he was God, Krishna himself, he came personally and he was experiencing harmony and peace. He was seeing that chanting of the holy name actually benefits. He wanted to show it to us. Therefore, he was able to even create the atmosphere amongst the most deadly and lethal animals in Jarikanda forest. The Acharyas tell us that you may not be able to imitate Lord Chaitanya, but even if you follow a drop of what Mahaprabhu is saying, he says just chant the holy names. Just chant the holy names. And how do we chant the holy names? At least we can begin, even though we don't reach the Satyanukampam stage. We can start small. We can begin by creating this atmosphere and love and trust based in the glorification of the Lord. But just humble service of God amongst, like mat chitta mat gata prana bodhayantas paraspara katayantas chamam nityam tushyanti cha malamanti cha. A real preacher, the devotee of Krishna says, "Oh me," they derive great satisfaction in this, conversing about me, enlightening one another. We can start small. Just let's start little chanting. We can start talking about Krishna. That peace, that bliss is derived from love, trust, and harmony. We should know that as a servant who actually has a feeling through to the master, we should be willing to do anything, everything to put ourselves second, to help another person, make advancement in spiritual life. That is the quality of a preacher. We can be small preachers. We don't have to become huge preachers. We can be small preachers. We may know the philosophy very nicely, but that's not the quality of a real preacher. The real preacher has a preliminary external quality. Yes, we should understand things like that. But we may be very convincing in our argument. We may be very austere in our lifestyle. We may be very strict in following any detail of the principles of sadhana. These are simply preliminary qualifications. But a real preacher is one who is willing to put himself last and put all others first. Therefore, in the service of others, we are willing to take great pain and suffering to help them make spiritual advancement. We are willing to be abused, misused, misunderstood, anything to help elevate others. That is the natural quality of the soul. And some others, that's amazing. What is he talking to me about this? I'm a grihastha, maybe a sannyasi. They should be like this. No, not really. But a grihastha, I have a family. I have to take care of things. How am I supposed to be like this? People can think of these things. But how, I'm a grihastha. I don't know how to really follow these things. The fact is, the duty of every human being is to be like this. We may think, it's really far away for me to even get very close to, to connect with this quality. These qualities are actually within our soul. So we have to make a priority in life. We should not be attracted by the glittering objects of this world. We should always be attracted to the essence of the essence of Krishna consciousness. Now, there are so many beautiful the essence of Krishna consciousness. I just want to say a little story about a Brahmana and a prostitute. This story is about a Brahmana who is diseased with depression. She had most chaste and beautiful and faithful wife. She was very, very anxious to keep him and preserve him. She loved her husband so much that she did not care what abuse or inconvenience she had to go through to make him happy. She was a very, very beautiful person. She was coming from the most aristocratic Brahmana family, and yet she was a servant of a leper. He was in such a diseased condition, he could not even bathe himself. Every day she would take him to the river and give him bath. One day while they were by the river, there was a very beautiful prostitute who was taking her bath. There was a very, very beautiful prostitute who was taking her bath to the river. I believe her name was Lila. She was very beautiful, and after that, the wife took her husband back home and was trying to make him very happy. She found that his mind is in very great distress. So she asked the husband, "What is wrong? What can I make you happy? Is there some reason for your distress?" He said, "Yes. There is a very great reason for my distress." He said, "You know what, if you're a prostitute, I'm so much attracted to her that I cannot get her out of my mind for even a second. I have tears in her eyes." She said, "My dear husband, you want to be a prostitute?" He said, "I'm afraid to tell you that." He said, "Yes, I will." And she said, "Yes, I will do my best that I can." But she had no money. This poor Brahmana. She went to the house of the prostitute. Whether there were many others living like her. She began every day to clean every woman and every aspect of the house very, very meticulously. And after several weeks, this woman began to ask, why is this house so clean? It never has been this clean before. And other ladies said, basically, the Brahmana lady, she cleaned everything. She would not let us do anything. She would not accept any payment. She didn't want anything to help. So the prostitute called the Brahmana lady. What, why are you doing this? What are the things that I need to give you? You're making us not satisfied by your service. She said, I want no payment. But my husband wants to be with you. But we have no money. That's the prostitute. So the prostitute said, all right, you and your husband come tomorrow for dinner. She said, thank you very much. She was very happy. The leper Brahmana and his wife, they came in the next night for dinner. The prostitute made a very wonderful feast. The listening session was received. On one side, she served very nice simple prasad. That prasad was on simple plantain leaf, and there was Ganges water in a clay cup. And the other side was pure bowls and plates made of silver and gold. In their plates were very rich preparation, each one made of meat, very opulent. She told the Brahmana, you take your choice. This one, the silver and gold plate bowls with very opulent ghee, short meat dishes, or you want some simple prasadam on the plantain leaf. He said, I will take the prasad because I'm a Brahmana. How can I eat those things? So he ate the prasad and was very satisfied. And after he completely ate the prasad, the prostitute looked at him and she said, your wife, she is like the prasad on the plantain leaf. She's very sattvic. She's very simple to look at, but she's very pure in heart. She said to me, I'm like the meat. She tells this Brahmana, I'm like the meat. This is in the golden and silver bowls. I may look very luxurious, very beautiful, but inside I'm simply rajasic and tamasic. I'm very contaminated. So she said, why you have come from me? Obviously, this is not pure opulence and enjoyment. The inside is nothing but suffering condition of bondage. When the Brahmana heard this, he became enlightened. He lost all his desire to enjoy this prostitute. He lost all attachment for everything of this glittering world. This world has glitter that is attracting us. But a devotee who has wisdom, who understands the truth, knows. He knows exactly whatever appears to be pleasurable in this material world, pain is deeply seated at the core of it. Therefore, devotees look from within. He does not judge things by the external appearance. Therefore, Krishna consciousness is means. With the story we understand, Krishna consciousness is means to analyze and appreciate the substance within, not the external form. That is the lesson that was part of the leper Brahmana. The prostitute saying, I'm very beautiful, but what's within my heart? Your life may be very simple, but what is within her heart? The Brahmana became so thankful with folded hands, and he said, my dear Mataji, you're my guru. Thank you very much. Krishna is speaking through you. So it is our duty to learn to see beyond the bitter of material existence and to create a sense of love and trust amongst one another on the basis of real substance of humility. And that is why Brahmaji from the Srimad Bhagavatam is actually saying the Caitanya verse. He says, one who is humble to accept misery, accept physical suffering, mental suffering, accept abuse, misused, disease, whatever comes upon us as a result of my own sinful reaction, there is no one else to blame except me. And Krishna, who is perfect and complete, he's arranging the whole concept of laws of karma simply for our purification. Nothing happens without the will of the Lord. He is perfect and complete. Therefore, every situation I am facing is perfect and complete for me. Therefore, let me thank Krishna for this arrangement. Let me remember him with love in this amazing arrangement. Let me never again accuse or try to justify by blaming other people or any of my own, inadequacies, any of my problems in life. There is only one problem, that we are forgetting that Krishna is perfect. And everything happening by his arrangement is perfect, and everything that will happen will also be perfect, without exception. To my notice, detailing, nothing can take place anywhere without the sanction of Krishna. As soon as we recognize that, as soon as we look for Krishna, we will find Krishna. If we are looking to finding fault, it does not take a great man. It does not take time. We will start finding faults in people. Any common man can find fault. Wherever he looks, it takes a great It doesn't have to be a little person or a great person. You can always find a fault. That is what we need to do. That Krishna is all merciful. He's all perfect. We have to put the faith because that is truth. So Krishna consciousness is very natural. It is very simple. We just have to look for Krishna everywhere. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Sarvasiraham Vidhisannivishto Mata Jnanam Apohayam Cha. He is the source of knowledge. He is forgetfulness and remembrance. He is the source of everything. He is within our heart. And He knows that we are sincerely looking for Him. He will help us out. Now, we cannot find fault in anyone without the help of God. You cannot think without help of God. You cannot even breathe without Krishna. But if you want to find fault, Krishna will show you fault, either in Him or in any other part and parcels. And if you want to see His glories, He will reveal His glory to you, to everything and everyone. And greatest opportunity is the time of suffering. Now, if you look for Krishna in a humble state of mind, in the time of suffering, you will become a liberated soul. So this sublime consciousness we should aspire for. If we aspire for something, we must be willing to work for that thing. And the process of attaining this divine consciousness is to create the atmosphere of love and trust among each other by putting the name of Krishna always between us. There's only one process. Therefore, the process in this age of Kali and hypocrisy is the only process of Sankirtana. There are two types. One is Krishna Varnam Tusa Krishnam Sango Pangasha Parshadam. Vignehi Sankirtana Praya Vijantihi Sumedasha. Sankirtana means congregation of chanting the holy name amongst others, coming together to glorify Krishna. Japa is an essential method of purifying our own individual consciousness. So the specific method to counteract the effects of age of Kali, which means quarrel and hypocrisy, amongst each other is Sankirtana, to coming together and congregationally to chant the names of Krishna. There may be different places according to different styles and traditions. That is not very important. That is just external. But the principle is coming together. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would congregate hundreds and thousands of people, sometimes have all of them around various locations, chant the holy name of the Lord and dance. He would get the animals to raise their hands, to get, that is the only way that we can understand through realization is we are very insignificant and Krishna is our master. So it's very, very important. Today's verse that we covered, the two verses, one of the things that really, really struck me is, even if we work very hard to reach the absolute impersonal liberation, it will be a piece of a straw in comparison to our direct connection with Krishna. So just to recap what we learned today is here in this beautiful verse of Atvar Atmaramashtamniyo, we were looking at the word Itham Bhuta, that is transcendentally exalted, because it means full of transcendental bliss. So when we have a personal relationship with Krishna, a transcendental bliss is when it is compared to impersonal liberation becomes a piece of straw. That's it. So impersonal liberation is far, 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 far more amazingly blissful compared to what these sages who are impersonal liberated actually feel. Now, how do we achieve it? We looked at how Brahmaji is praying to Krishna. He says, Satyanukampam. That is, any problem that comes in my life, I think it's because of my own past life karmas, and that Krishna is very merciful. I should have had boulders and boulders of difficulties, and He just gave me a tiny little pebble difficulty. And He gave me a very little difficulty. I should be thankful, and I should still surrender to Him. I should not think of anything else. How do we do that? Reaching that particular level may be difficult. We start Srinadapi Sunichena Sarorapi Sahishuna Amanina Manadina Kirtani Sahari. So we start by simply, humbly chanting nicely every single day, doing japa, and of course doing congregational chanting with everybody. So we try to approach Krishna in our own a little way. We have to become small little creatures. We don't have to do huge. We can just do small little way, in a small little humble attitude. So Krishna will just be pleased with us. I'd like to stop here, and thank you so much for giving me opportunity. And it was just wonderful preparing for the class. And I think I'm really grateful to Devi Mataji. And please add and correct, because these verses are so detailed. It's so hard for a a conditioned soul like me to understand. Thank you.
Jai, Hare Krishna, Sukhesvari Mataji. Thank you so much for, first of all, accepting the request and then finally, wonderfully explaining. Especially I like the pastime that you shared of a Brahmana and then of course of Brahma, that how, he explained in this verse, Tatya Anukampa, that it's really hard, but yes, of course, we all can aspire for. So thank you for presenting it so beautifully and really grateful, Mataji. It was really a very nice and wonderful class. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji, for praying. I'll be able to speak something. These verses are so difficult. Yeah. Thank you, Mataji.
Yes, that's true. Yeah. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Sukhesvari Mataji, all glories to Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. I have a question. So when we speak, Hare Krishna, nice to hear you too. I have a question about, we say this quite often that the devotee realizes, devotee thinks, devotee believes that I should actually have gotten more suffering or something, and Krishna has so kindly just gave me a token. So my question is that, obviously I'm not a pure devotee, so I don't understand it, but so is it that we believe that a pure devotee really, obviously he really believes that. He understands that there's probably more that he needs to suffer, but Krishna has kindly given him a token. So does Krishna only give a token to devotees? Or does he give a token to everybody? Or is it the mindset of a devotee that makes him feel that he is not worthy of such mercy, but he's been given it? I don't know if it makes sense. I'm just trying to understand what that exactly means. What that phrase that a devotee understands, that he is just getting a token of what he deserves. Or is it that they realize, because a devotee realizes, as compared to a non-devotee is kind of oblivious to his misdeeds and everything, and so he just blames God for all his problems without realizing that he is the cause of his karma. He is the cause of his reactions to his past karma. Whereas the devotee understands that I am the cause, and I should actually be suffering more, but because of the mercy of the Lord, that he is protecting me by giving me less. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's my question, I guess. How to understand that?
I will try, Mataji, and I'd like others to add too. I was just thinking that but what you said, the first sentence was right in one sense. It's the mindset in one sense. Why? Because a devotee's mind is completely dedicated to Krishna. And Mataji, one second. Sorry, Mataji. So sorry.
That's okay, no problem.
So what I was thinking about is, a devotee's mind is always thinking about Krishna, right? So when we're looking at a person who is not Krishna conscious, his mind is always thinking about himself. So the difference between a devotee and non-devotee is a non-devotee is always thinking about me, mine, my family, my husband or my wife or my things. But a devotee thinks it's Krishna's. Everything is Krishna's. So when we go back and understand, mind was created, in the basic stuff. Mind's work, the basic work of mind is to think of Krishna. So when we think about Cheto Darpanam, Arjunam, Brahma, Nilvapanam, the mind has a lot of dust that is accumulated. The purity of the mind is when it reflects that you are an eternal servant of Krishna. That's the reason we chant. So when we are cleaning the mind as the mirror, when we are able to see our real reflection, we look at the picture and we are able to see the real reflection, in that sense, we actually know who we are. When we see that we are servant of Krishna, we understand things in the right perspective. But when we don't chant, our mind as a mirror is completely blocked with dust and all trash. We can't understand who we are. So when we understand who we are, it doesn't matter what we are going through. Whether we are going through a physical suffering or a mental suffering, it's actually not suffering. It's only illusion, right? So I hope I'm making sense, Madhya. So if I am in the material world, I have this duality of happiness and distress, right? But when a pure devotee goes above the level of happiness and distress, it doesn't make any difference to him. It doesn't matter to him. For him, it's okay. For him, there is no happiness, there is no distress, because happiness and distress is only connected with his body. If I'm suffering, if I have a disease, it's to the body and have nothing to do with the body. If I'm suffering with so maybe a leg gone or a hand gone, this is everything to do with my body. This has nothing to do with my soul. A pure devotee has understood that I am a soul and I'm a servant of Krishna. So whatever problem comes, it's not in this body. So if the problem comes, I have to go through it. So in that sense, his mindset is totally different. Madhya, does it actually answer your question? I just want to make sure before I continue.
Yeah, I think it kind of does, because yes, it is a mindset, because he's beyond the body. So in that sense, so that answers that first point. The second point you were asking is it about that when he is going through the suffering, he thinks that Krishna has made it less for me. That's your part of the question, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's because it's like when I understand that I'm in this material world because of my own deeds, Krishna did not want me to come.
Right.
Krishna did not want me to come. It's like understanding a child who is putting her finger into Prabhupada always uses an analogy, putting the finger into the fire, and then mom is going on telling the child, don't put. When the child comes out and says, it's all because of you, mom, that I got my finger burnt, the child is in ignorance, is a non-devotee. But when the child realizes, oh my gosh, my mom has always said, I can realize myself in that situation where I remember I would fight with my parents for simple things when I was a little kid, and they would have told me not to do it. Or they would have given me some suggestion I would not have followed, and I would have gone through some difficulty. But now as an adult, more mature, when I look back, I think, oh, the parents had already told me not to do it, and it was my mistake I did it, and I went through the suffering.
Okay, I got it. So to recap, so what I understand is, yes, number one, it is a mindset, it is an understanding, because he is beyond his body. A pure devotee is beyond his body. He realizes that the body is the one that is suffering and not his soul. Of course, that is a very high stage. And then the second part is that he also realizes that any suffering that he is going through is because of his own choice. And Krishna has told him, you don't want to go there, but we said, yeah, we do, and we did it anyway. So he realizes that, it's the choice I made, whereas a non-devotee would not understand that. Would, number one, neither be beyond his body, because he's still connected to the body, eye, and mind. So that's where he feels that suffering more. And then beyond that, because of his lack of realization that the cause of his suffering is his own decisions of his past, then that also makes him part of that suffering.
That's right.
Feel that suffering.
I think so, Madhya. I would like others to add too.
Thank you, Madhya.
I think that it's more, our mind becomes purified. So it's not the usual quote-unquote mindset, but the purified mind thinks situations in a different way. A not purified mind will think the situation in a different way.
And as you were saying, and I know that you really understand that any situation that puts us in is ultimately found good, whether it be a situation or a present situation, that all the situations, if we see that in the light of Say that again.
I'm saying your voice is breaking. Can you say again what you were saying?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was saying that that the pure devotee. Oh God, let me think what I was thinking. I forgot for a second. That a pure devotee understands that everything that happens, whether it be suffering good, suffering something, or else enjoying something, that we should see that as either a test of Krishna or else something that will help us progress on our path of bhakti, since that is what our ultimate desire is.
Yeah. Oh, somebody was commenting something. Hare Krishna?
Yes, Mataji, we are hearing, I think so. Yeah. So the
Mataji, or maybe she got disconnected.
I'm sorry, I was on mute. I didn't understand. I was trying to figure out what was going on. Can you hear me?
Yes, Mataji. Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Hold on a second. My father-in-law is calling me. Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, that was my. Did I finish? I think I finished my thought. Okay.
Yeah. Yes, Mataji. I mean, that's my little understanding. I'd like others to comment. The most important thing is, when we read Shastras, our mind gets purified more and more. We get to know Krishna a little bit more and more and more. So the more we purify our mind just by exposing the mind to the literature, to Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Caritamrta, our mind gets very purified. So it understands when there is a situation. So we don't complain. We don't complain. We just take it. We don't. So that's the only way we can purify our mind. The only way to purify our mind is intelligence. Because mind is in all these different thoughts in our head, to cause concern, to cause fault finding, to cause all the others. But intelligence is purified by just listening to the scriptures will help the mind calm, saying that no, excuse me, don't even think about it, because this is what is mentioned in scriptures. This is what is mentioned in scriptures. But for non-devotees, they don't have this spiritual intelligence. Spiritual intelligence is not able to help the mind to do anything but this for sitting and walking and things like he is maybe becoming. There are situations when people go through difficulties in their life and they totally reject God. Right? We've heard and seen in our life. So, absolutely. And I have a lot of personal realization in this regard when I was just coming to Krishna consciousness, the way how if I wish something and it didn't happen, I would feel like, not that I would dislike this, but I go try to Krishna and try to do this and try to tell him you're not doing this. Now, after 8 years, and at least one improvement, that now I really don't tell anything to Krishna. I thank Krishna. Okay, whatever happens, please help me go through this. So there is at least a point of improvement in my consciousness. Is that I'm sure everybody would have something.
Hey, sorry for the interruption, Mataji. Your voice is breaking, Mataji.
Can you hear me? You can. Is my voice breaking?
Yeah, we can hear you, but it's breaking up.
So maybe everybody else can go their phones and use. Okay. Please let me know, Mataji. Let me down if you still can't hear me. Just saying that, as we go breaking. Oh.
I'm not having a problem. I wonder if it seems okay for me.
Oh,
try again. Yeah, try again, Sukhesvari Mataji.
No, I was just saying that, even in our own lives, we can see that we would have been extremely immature to at least a 0.1% mature now. So, can you hear me, Mataji?
Yes, Mataji. I'm not having I can hear you. Sundari Mataji and Anjana Gupta Mataji, are you guys is it still breaking for you, or are you guys so good?
No, it's okay, Mataji. Thank you.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I would like others to comment too, Mataji. I just feel that it's very important, as I said, when we purify intelligence, our mind is more and less. And purifying of intelligence happens only in the main way is to listen to lectures, read scriptures, because that is the only way that the mind can get to the right. So absolutely.
As you were saying that, Sukhesvari Madhya, I was thinking, this sudden thought came to mind, is that that's why it's so important for us to make sure that the knowledge is disseminated out to everybody and distributed. So, because many people don't know, there's so many people that don't know, and because of lack of knowledge, not because of any kind of desire to forget or anything, but just because they are ignorant, that they get caught up in this whole thing, and it reminds us of how very important it is that we distribute. And Srila Prabhupada's desire of distributing and comes to fore. We realize more potently, and poignantly about how important it is. Thank you, Mataji.
Very, very true, Mataji. Absolutely. Book distribution is extremely important. Everybody should go and distribute books. There is no question about it. I mean, we could be the tiny creatures. We don't have to be like, thinking we want to do thousands of books. At least we can do one book every week with just one little book of Srila Prabhupada. That's a great achievement too. Yeah. Thank you, Mataji. I hope that was, I'd like others to add. I'm sure there's so much more to explain.
Thank you, Ma'am. Sukhesvari Mataji, you explained very nicely.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Sukhesvari Mataji. Very nice class. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mataji. I just wanted to mention I can also send you the link to the lecture that I was, reading from. This was Raghunath Swami has, if you're looking for Krishna, you will find him. He gave a beautiful lecture on that, and that's where I took my notes from today. And of course from Srila Prabhupada's purports and translations. I really want to say that I don't really understand any of these. I just was, parrot repeating them, and I know I have to do that mainly. But, I would love to hear from other people who have more realizations.
Anyone else has any questions, any suggestions? Okay, thank you so much, Sukhesvari Mataji, for gracefully agreeing and giving such a wonderful class.
Thank you,
Mataji. So, with your permission, we can end up here. We seek your association more often, Mataji. Please take out time for us also.
It's being too merciful. Thank you, Mataji.
Okay, so let's pay obeisances to all the Vaishnavas. Vancha kalpataru.